Alright, Kwakazi here. I am doing this video to help a couple of troop mates. While I'm doing it, may as well make this video for my YouTube, get this uploaded. Today's feature is going to be completely on feeding and the most efficient way to do so. The most efficient way is if you have a feeding booster to use that. So this is specifically Whisper. One of my troop mates was looking for some information, so this is going to be geared towards that idea. The first, obviously, is to gather up as many specials as you can. When you're working with specials, I'm going to pull open my management here. For those that don't know, there are 3 different levels of specials. There is a special for potent, which is twice as much experience while leveling. There is charged, which is 3 times, and there is energized, which is 5 times. For what we're doing, we want 2s and 3s for the purpose of getting max specials. Then we also want 5s for maxing out the evoed supers after you've done and evolved your supers. Right now, as you can see, I got a bunch of puzzle pieces, but here's a good example of a couple of these. This Columbus here, he is a potent, which you can see from the description is a double XP. And then I know one of these is a triple. I think Magnolia? Nope, Magnolia is a double as well. Jason is a charged, which is a triple XP. As you can see, the different abilities changed. This one's charged, the other ones were potent. The best way to go about these is to collect your specials. You'll want 1 triple for every double that you have. So in this case, since I have, what's Haley? Haley is another double. Okay. Different kind. That's a super candy as opposed to just the standard special. And let's see, Cicero is also a double. I think all the candies are doubles, but I could be wrong on that. So I essentially have 3 of these right now that are wind, and that's going to be the focus. Now multiply this for as many as you can fit in your box. That's kind of what we want to go for. What you want, again, as I said, you want the equal number of doubles to triples, because what you can do is, let's say Jason here is going to be the one we want. What we're going to do is we're going to level Jason to level 16. The special thing about level 16 is that when you use a feeding booster and it's a triple or a charged experience, that level 16 will max a double special. Or any other special for that matter. That's the special number. If you can get it to level 16 and use a feeding booster, it will max out a special of the same kind. That's key and important, because if you max a fire special, it will not, or sorry, if you get a fire special to level 16, it will not max out a wind special per se. And that's because, for those that don't know, you get a boost when you feed the same element to itself. So wind to wind, fire to fire, such and so forth. You get a 30% boost to your feed percent, or feed value. So as a demonstration here, I want to kind of give you an idea. So I have Jason here. I have the key numbers that you're looking for to get a special to level 16 in order to max the special. You have to have 21 of the levels worth of the same element, or 25 levels of a different element. In this case, I've collected a few, and these are for uncommons. It's not worth it to do with normal commons. You do want to do this with uncommons. I have, let's see, 8, 14, 15, 21, 25. I have 25 levels worth of wind, so we're just going to do it for this one special. Going to waste a booster for the purpose of this video. So Jason, we're going to feed him And we are going to go over here. I'm going to also show you this here. So here's 8 levels, plus an additional 6 levels for 14. And this is what I want to show you with that feed booster. So you can see he's level 13, right where this, let me pull out my pen here. You can see right here, this is level 13 is the projected with just these two, and that's for 14 levels of wind uncommon. If I add another 7, which is that special 21 that I was referring to, but if I do it in fire instead of wind, you'll see he doesn't make it to 16. He only makes it to 15. So if I instead do the 7 of wind, there he is. He's made level 16. So we'll feed those 3 monsters that gets him to level 16. Alright, so now our charged wind special is at level 16 from 21 levels of the same element of uncommon. What we're going to do here, I want to make one of my candies be a max, so that's the way I'm going to do this, but it would work the same with the candies as it would for these two here. So if I go to, and before I continue, you would do the exact same thing for as many levels as you needed for, like when I did my last group, I think I did 19 specials all at once, so I had I think I had almost 40 some specials in my box, and I did them all at the same time to maximize the use of my feeding booster. And I ended up maxing out like 18. I did 2 perfect evolutions. It's all very important because you want to do it all during the time frame of your feeding booster, because the feeding booster allows you to level up so much faster with so much less effort. Okay, so we've got our level 16 right here, our level 16 wind super that is a charged. We're going to go over to our backpack here, and I'm going to use one of my feeding boosters. Really pains me to do this. I really hate wasting these, but here's one of my feeding boosters. I'm going to use it. Now, I'm going to go back to management, and this is again where that same level boost thing is going to come in handy. You're going to see if I were, let's say I wanted to do this fire special instead of the wind. If I chose to max out this fire special, but I fed it this leaf, or the wind special, you can see he doesn't make it to max. He makes it to level 36. Again, that boost comes in handy. So we're going to go to one of my candies. Again, same as any other wind. And we are going to feed this charged level 16 to him, and you can see his level goes straight to max. So we feed for 5 stones. So far we've spent 20 stones, and we now have a maxed special for 20 stones and a feeding booster. Now if you're doing this, you would have like I did, you'd have like 19 of these in this span of time. So you're looking at roughly 400 stones, and you've got yourself an entire army of max specials for 400 stones and a feeding booster. Great deal. Okay. Now, at the same time, if I were, say, I were doing a evolution, I'm going to use Xander here as an example. If I had my items here, let's say that I just went through and maxed 4 fire specials, and I already had my 2 maxed supers, which, by the way, I actually need to pull up a document because I have a guide. There's a guide online, by the way, Feeding Booster, that you can read all of this information on. And this is where I pulled my method from. So I am currently pulling it up. I gotta get my setup turned on here. Otherwise, I am not going to be a whole lot of help. There are, I believe it is, you have to have 1 maxed energized, which is the 5 times special, and a maxed 3 times energized or charged, I think, to max a normal special. I might actually have one to test that. Let me go into my box down here. See, I've got a handful of items here. Where's my third? That's a double. Queenie? 5 times. Okay, here. This is a maxed energized special. He is a wind special. So we're going to restore him to my box so I have something to show you guys here. And I have this junk super here that I can kind of display this on. I've got a feeding booster running right now, so this will show you how much this will do. Oh, actually, it looks like one max special will manage it. So if you have an energized maxed special, it will take your low-level non-evoed super straight to max. And I apologize if my sound is a little far. I'm stepping away here a little bit. Okay, all right, so it apparently I would be able to max it, and that would be for one energized special. So the same idea applies to the energized special. You can max it with a level 16 charged special with a feeding booster. So you can do all of this at the exact same time. The only part that you do as prep work is the collection of the specials and the collection of the uncommons, and then the feeding. You feed the uncommons before you use the booster. It just, that way you save your space and you can get them all ready. After you have got your, continuing to use Xander here as an example, let's say we had both of our, I think this one's a, what is he called? He's a roasting chicken. Okay, if I had two maxed roasting chickens right now, and I had just done 4 fire specials and maxed them all out, then we would have all of these filled with max level on each one of these. So we'd have 4 max fire specials and 2 maxed roasting chickens. That would give us the ability to do what's called a perfect evolution, because now we have 4 max specials and 2 max supers. So we now have a PE, or perfect evolution. That perfect evolution would cost you about 5,000 stones. So you'd do that. So you've already cut your cost of actually making and maxing all of your characters by a huge amount. After you've evoed it, your character or your monster starts at level 1 again, and it takes more to level him up. The amount of the amount of experience or points that are required to level a special that's not evoed like we were doing is 296,000 for a standard super. The moment you evolve it, it becomes 767. You can manage 767 with 2 energized, that's the 5x, supers. Specials. So if you can have 2 of those ready, then you can also feed 2 of those, and that's again same element. If you have different element, it's in this document I was referring to. If you have different elements and you are doing the same, then you have to have 2 of the energized and also a charged as well. So that's 2 5s and a 3. So it becomes a fair amount more expensive to do different element energized. I know I'm probably losing a lot of you here. It's a lot easier to kind of do it yourself. Let's see. I don't know if I can really show you a whole lot more. But essentially the idea is to start out, you collect all of your specials that you want. You get equal numbers of triples and doubles. And then if you happen to have a couple 5Xs as well, make sure you have a triple to match it. You level all of the triples using uncommons to level 16. After you've leveled them, that's when you use your feeding booster. Once you've activated your feeding booster, you max level all the doubles and all of the 5X supers that you can. That allows you at that point to have a ton of maxed specials. Your maxed specials can then be used for either evolving or for leveling your characters. Usually the 2Xs you'll use for evolving, the 5Xs you will use for leveling. You can, if you don't have enough doubles, you can also do the same with triples. If let's say you had four triples and then you had two doubles, you could use two of the triples to max the doubles and then one of the triples to max the final triple. So you'd end up with one max triple and two max doubles. You just play around with it. You'll get the idea. Once you have all of your supers and you've gone maxed them and you've got your energized and you max level, you will have saved way more money than you do ever by leveling with uncommons individually or commons, as the price exponentially goes up each time you do it. So if you can just max them with a matter of one or two feeds instead of using 40 feeds over time, you save yourself thousands and thousands and thousands of stones. It does take a toll on your specials. I mean, you need a lot of them, so don't throw them away. If you have too many doubles, my best recommendation, help your troop. Feed your extra doubles to the troop pet, and that's probably the best use for them. Obviously, you can't feed the wind or rock specials, the doubles to the pet. So those ones I just sell. Seems really like a waste, but there really isn't any other way to go about it. I'm sure you're going to have questions. I'm not the best of at explaining things, but if you do a Google search for feeding manual, I believe it is, Battlecamp feeding manual, you will come across a link for battlecampmanual.com. That one has a wonderful document that explains everything that I've been talking about. It shows you the feed values, it shows you the levels, tells you the experience, tells you the amount of experience that you need to use to level things, and tells you each individual step about the stuff as you look through it. This is where I got all of this information. It works wonderfully. I hope you guys at least learned something, got something out of this. If I didn't clarify anything very well, please let me know. I tried to do as much visual as I could while using the feeding booster and everything else, but unfortunately I just don't have the stuff to actually show you. Hopefully I can be of more assistance, but let me know. Thank you. Bye.